That's way too close. Let's get you out a little bit. Okay. Yeah, that's about good. Okay, yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, we're gonna record. Hey there, welcome back to the vlog. So if you cast your mind back recently, I was talking about doing Game Boy video coding, doing some routines that would compile down to a ROM that could actually load in a Game Boy emulator. And it was one of those projects that, yeah, I'd always wanted to do it just to sort of scratch it off my bucket list, but at the end of the day, it was a bit of a pain to actually do it. Now, having posted it, one of the subscribers, and actually somebody that I know personally, Matt, posted down in the comments, hey, you should go and do something on the Spectrum. Now, this is something that I instantly gravitated towards, but I wanted to go back and explain why and how. So if you go back to the early 80s, the Sinclair Spectrum came out in the UK. We had a lot more cheap computers over there than what North America had, and we also had them a little bit earlier in some respects. They were a bit more accessible to the average household, except in my particular household, I didn't have the original Spectrum when it came out, which was this sort of rubbery keyed looking contraption, very, very different to what you'd expect a computer to look like. Later, when the Spectrum Plus came out, this is the computer that I had. And this is also the computer that, I learned to program on this. Now, don't get me wrong, I did play games on it. However, I also learned to program on it. This was like an itch that I needed to scratch, and so I learned BASIC on it. Later I went from the Spectrum to the Commodore 64, and then from the Commodore 64 up to the Amiga A500, and then from the Amiga A500 up to a PC. Or down, depending on which way you're looking at it. But for right now, I want to go back to the beginning. So as I mentioned, this was an idea that I really wanted to go back to. When I had a Spectrum, I was too young to understand the assembly side of programming that computer. But I was pretty proficient in BASIC. I would design and build little 8-bit sprites and then plot them on the screen, kind of emulating what Space Invaders had been doing just a little bit before that. I didn't do any real assembly until later when the PC came along, and I did Intel assembly first. However, I was always aware when I got older that assembly was something that was always available on the earlier computers. It was just that I was too young at the time to really understand that that was actually an option and was available. So I kind of skipped the Stone Age, for want of a better description. I sort of went from zero to Bronze Age and all the way up to high tech, and I sort of missed the Stone Age bit in the middle where we were programming the ZX80 in assembler, which was kind of where we went with the Game Boy the other week, but this is slightly different, so just bear with me for a second. In theory, there was always this option to go back to assembly, and this is really why, knowing that that option was there and I had never taken it, I wanted to go and do this. The big issue is, have you ever tried to program a Spectrum in 2019 on a Mac? What I did to attempt this, first, install Visual Studio Code. You then install the ZX Spectrum extension SpectNet VSC. Now the next bit gets a bit convoluted because the way that the compiler is going to expect the program to be laid out in a certain way, and we don't want to do that manually. There was a tool that is available that will do this that comes as part of the SpectNet VSC, or is it specvsc.net? I need to look at my notes here. SpectNet VSC. SpectNet VSC. Jeez. Hey. Next we would have to install Node, because this would give us the Node package manager, and from there we can install Yo. So Yo with the ZX Spectrum generator will give us the directory structure and the source file ready for us to fill in, and that way the compiler in the next part would be quite happy. So the next step is to basically open up the file that it's given you, tear everything out of it, and start writing your own code. So you program the ASM file for your code, then you download the Pasmo compiler and set that up, and the final part is we compile the ASM using Pasmo, into a tap file, and the tap file is basically emulating what the tape would have held, and so later we can load it just like we would have done, because I don't know if you remember in the old days before floppy disks, a lot of home computers used tape. Commodore 64 was another one that did exactly the same thing. The final part is to load that tap file into the Spectrum emulator, and hopefully it should run. At least that's the theory. Now, the end result is not earth-shattering, but it does show you that this is actually possible. You can still do this in 2018, 2019, and actually, as I was recording this, Bandersnatch came out, and there's a whole other thing to do with that. I will find a link and put it down in the doobly-doo, which if you're interested in the Black Mirror Bandersnatch and the Spectrum game that was in there, have a look at that. Now, the biggest thing that tripped me up actually with all of this, even though I spent many years using a Spectrum, that was a good 30 years ago. And going back to, if you look at the keyboard on a Spectrum, there are certain key words which are bound to specific keys on the keyboard. So, for instance, if you wanted to do the load command, then you had to hit J. That would type the entire word load. But the problem was, if you've only got a Mac in front of you and you don't actually have a picture of a Spectrum, then you can't remember where the keys are, and it's very, very difficult. So, in order to do the load, you end up having to do something like J, and then it was like the right Alt and then P twice to get the quotes, and then we could just put in the name of the file in the middle. Another thing that I did discover, and this was a little bit of a technical trivia thing that I found out as part of the process here. We all know that BASIC has commands, and those commands are run by the interpreter that is going through your BASIC program if you wrote in BASIC. What I actually found out is under the hood, the Spectrum BASIC commands are actually available as jump addresses. So what you can do is you can set up your registers accordingly, load into whichever register you want the values to go into, and then go and call the routines. Now, this came in pretty handy for things like clearing the screen. I could just call the CLS command, because these are all burned into the ROM and available in BASIC, and so the BASIC interpreter under the hood would be calling that machine code routine. Well, I can just call it directly from my machine code command, which I had to define up at the top. Now, what I don't want to do is spend all of my time trying to work out where all the basic commands are in order to go write long programs in assembler, but this was something that I was quite happy when I discovered it, and I don't know, because I've never done this on other computers to see if they run the same way. I never, for instance, fired up a PC and suddenly found a copy of Microsoft Basic stuck in the ROM, because it just doesn't happen. But on this home computer, going back to it, it does happen, and I thought that was pretty cool. It was something that's, again, as I was mentioning earlier, I sort of skipped the Stone Age when I was a child, and now I'm sort of coming back to it and looking at it with the eyes of what I know now, and it's like, oh, that's pretty neat. So as I said, I'm guessing that the interpreter for BASIC is doing the same thing. It just goes, oh, you want a clear command? Fine, we'll just go call CLS. But of course, because it's running an interpreter, it's running a lot slower, but the CLS part is actually running at full speed. Does that make sense? So I will leave the final source code on Bitbucket, and I will put the link down below and in the doobly-doo. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you like these videos, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. Speak to you soon. Alright, thanks. Bye. However, I was always aware as a programmer when I got older that the assembler... Second, you installed a ZX Spectrum extension called SpectV. So now what we had to do was install Node, which is the Node Packet Manager. Packet Manager? Next we had to install Node, because this would give us the Node Packet. Next we would have to install Node, because this would... Next we would have to... But the trouble is, if you don't have a picture of the keyboard in front of you, and you've only got a Mac in front...